So the 5 biggest issues preventing you from ranking on the map are, and these are the things that Google penalizes you for the most, okay? Did you claim and verify your listings, your various listings in all the different directories in the ecosystem? So for Google, that's your GMB listing. Have you verified and claimed your listing in the data aggregators, in other business listing directories, in vertical directories? So the ecosystem looks like this, and not to spend too much time on it, but basically the data aggregators are these guys on the top. They are in the business of acquiring business information, aggregating it, and then verifying the accuracy of it, and they sell it to other directories in the ecosystem. And there's thousands and thousands of directories. So the simplest example I could think of is if you went to Yelp when they launched 10, 12 years ago looking for a dentist, there were no dentists in Yelp's database, would you go back? Probably not, because it wasted your time. So Yelp, if you follow the lines, and I could show you a live version of this where I can chart the lines for every single one. Yelp, let's say Yelp is buying their information. I know that they buy it from Factual. Well, what happens is that Factual has aggregated and verified information. Every month, Yelp downloads data, updated information, change of address, change of a business name, any new businesses that were created, they buy that information from Factual. So that's how Yelp got their content when they started. So over here and over here, you see a bunch of different directories. They're really too small to see. Most of you have probably not heard of most of them. Most of you have not heard of Hot Frog or Mojo Pages or Yellow or Yellow Bot. It doesn't matter. Google gives these other business listing directories a lot of credibility. They have something called a domain authority. We're going to talk about domain authority a little bit later, but they're important to Google, and that's what matters. So inconsistent name, address, and phone number. That's your NAP, okay, in the ecosystem. Google really, really penalizes heavily for this. So the NAP must be consistent to create the trust within Google. But where? Where should it be consistent? It should be consistent on your GMB listing, on your website, in the data providers and aggregators that I just showed you, in the business listing directories like Yellow Pages, Manta, Brown Book, okay, and in vertical directories like lawyers.com, Avo, FindLaw, and etc. Also in review sites, Yelp, lawyer ratings, and legal advice, and in all your published content, your blogs and your press releases. So what else could be hurting your Google rankings? Being spammy with your Google My Business listing. So you need an office in the city, a hard address that you want to rank well in Google Maps. So did you try to spam Google with a fake location? Did you spam your city and company business name or categories, a Google category? Do you have the proper Google categories even selected? Do you have enough real reviews across the web? You might not have enough engagement with consumers. And keyword stuffing is a big no. And violating Google terms of service. And you might not even know what they are, but we have seen this, and here's what happens. Your account gets suspended, and now you're in purgatory. And we've actually seen businesses almost come to the brink of shutting down until we got them re-verified and fixed the problem that they created by violating Google best practice. Keywords and service offerings. So is your website thin on content, and is the metadata incomplete or incorrect? We see it every day when we take over a client from another digital marketing agency. It's amazing to me how many digital marketing agencies build websites or website builders that build sites that are thin on content or the metadata is incorrect. Are your most important keywords properly optimized and continually optimized? On your site, you need a separate page for each service that you provide, so that if you're a family law attorney, you need a separate page for child custody, for child support, for prenuptial agreements, et cetera, et cetera. The pages need to be tagged with keywords in the headers and in anchor text. and each page has to be at least 800 words, and it has to read naturally. And you need consistent distribution of blog and press release content in the ecosystem with the proper linking and backlinking. In this particular case, what I'm demonstrating here is this attorney, Greg McCullen, Complete Legal Defense Team. He's one of our clients. As you can see, what Google's actually displaying now, their website mentions criminal defense lawyers. Guess what the keyword search was? Criminal defense lawyers. He's in Myrtle Beach, right here, Myrtle Beach. So I typed in criminal defense lawyers, Myrtle Beach. He pops up in the #1 position. And that's in part what you're seeing here with that. That's what Google wants. The fifth thing that they penalize the most for is hosting. So the quality of your hosting of your website has a direct impact on your Google ranking score, and it's more important now than ever before. So we like to say GoDaddy is no daddy. GoDaddy is the worst. Not to get into too much detail on it, but because they overload their servers and it's shared space, it's not secure. Google's penalizing for all of those things. Because it's shared space, it's slow. Okay, you need to make sure your website is secure and have an SSL certificate. If you don't, Google's going to penalize you. It's going to penalize for speed. The average person today will only wait 2.3 seconds. That's the average, 2.3 seconds for a site to load. If it doesn't load, they hit the back button and go to the next person. Your site needs to be monitored for breakage and consistently monitored 24/7. So what does breakage mean? So if it's a WordPress site, WordPress is an open platform. And what happens is let's say I invented the next greatest WordPress widget. Let's just say it was a countdown timer. And 100,000 people bought my countdown timer, or they got it for free. It was a free countdown timer. And I decided to change it. Well, what happens is that code changes. And so those 100,000 people who have that countdown timer on their website, the code now isn't the same and it breaks. So do you want to wait a week or a month, or do you want to instantly know that something's not working on your website? Of course you want to know instantly, and Google's going to penalize you if you have broken widgets or plugins on your website. Proximity. Proximity equals speed. So that let's just say, for example, that you're in Atlanta, your website is being hosted in Germany or in Russia or Canada. There's a lot of Canadian hosting services. Does it take longer for the data to transmit from Canada to Jacksonville? Or if we were able to move that hosting and slide it around, which is what we can do, slide around, let's just say the hosting was out of Atlanta. So it's going to download faster if it's closer to where the searcher is. And this is all considered technical SEO stuff.